We both texted you. Make sure that we didn't choose the same thing. We chose the same thing.
No freaking way. I love it. Okay, I'll pick something different because I have another
Well, we
one.
both have to choose something different.
That's true.
Because
That's
you know
true.
what it is.
Oh my gosh. Listen, I'm smart sometimes.
Damn.
Not all the time. Welcome to a podcast of fantasy and romance, or as we like to lovingly call ourselves, Apifar. We're your hosts, Ashley
And Anna.
Explore epic tales of fantasy and romance in your favorite books. We will bring you a wide range of book club books by highlighting indie authors, authors that aren't big household names yet, and yes, covering your big favorite releases. We will discuss the worlds, characters, stakes, and relationships that they created, while adding our breakdown and theories as well. At the end, we'll face off in our war games and bring you along. A couple of housekeeping things before we dive in.
First off, this is your spoiler warning. This episode will contain spoilers for all of Bride and Mate of Ali Hazelwood's books. If you haven't finished these books yet, this is where you should push pause, go read those books, and then come back, listen, hear what we have to say. And then there'll be a separate spoiler warning at the end of our podcast today for War Games, which, hey, we're back. This is probably going to be the last one for this year. So, there you go.
Second, this podcast has an explicit rating. We will be discussing mature themes and we cuss a little. So if you're not ready for your kids to go to school and talk about put your hands on the headboard or nodding, then this would be a good time to pop on some headphones. Here we go. Apifar Book Club is now in session. So we're going to do world building wonders first, where we break down the worlds created so they're easier to understand. Now, if you listen to our last episode, we talked about the three different humans, werewolves, and vampires, which is what this world's like the creatures that they have told us about. So this time I'm just going to focus on the Northwest Territory of werewolves because that is where we spend most of our time in this book. Anna talked about last time how there's different territories for the werewolves. And this is the Northwest Territory. And it sounds like the Pacific Northwest to me. So that's, like what I picture when they're driving through it. Like lots of trees and the ocean and stuff like that. So Cohen, our MMC, is the alpha of the Northwest Territory. And the Northwest Territory is the biggest, land mass wise, but they have the fewest members, and it's also the most remote. They have huddles, so they have 5 peripheral huddles in the core. And the leaders of the peripheral huddles make up the assembly or their council. And the assembly advises and brings problems to the alpha and keep him in check. And then they still have an alpha because wares are wired to coalesce around a worthy leader. The Northwest does not tolerate any invasion, and so it is said that they spend more time in their werewolf forms. They are more vicious than needed to control their borders, and they hold grudges. And the way that they are more vicious than needed to control their borders, besides just being more violent, is that they will line their borders with staked bodies, like the bodies that they killed. They will put them on stakes and then line the borders to keep everybody out. So it's real special.
Sounds like a warning to me.
That's all I got.
Yeah, all right. Sounds good. All right, so chapter chats. This is for Mate, of course. This is where we review and summarize the book for you and give our take on the thrilling events. So, like I just said, it's going to be the same universe, but the different couple this time. This book follows Serena, and we get kind of little snippets of Cohen's ideas, like at the top of the book, which I always really like. I like seeing that little portion. Okay,
a little thought bubble.
Yes, little thought bubble. Serena has had a couple of rough months. So she's been kidnapped in the previous book. Her memories were erased. She learned she was half were. She made her first kill to defend her best friend from dying. And now we see her in a situation where she is weirdly, calmly informed that she is Cohen's mate, and he doesn't seem to be affected by it, as we saw with Lo. She seems attracted to him, but there isn't any kind of spark that she really talks about to make it seem like she is his mate. So we have two sides of the mate thing where one could be one person's mate and the other one's not necessarily the other person's mate, which is kind of different than what we've ever read about, I think. Like we've read about like the
Yeah,
mate
as
thing, but you could like not accept
not
it,
accept it.
but not
Yeah.
necessarily that you aren't the other person's mate back.
So is that what like Lo explained to Misery in the first book, that you don't like it's possible for you to have like a mate and them not be reciprocated
I
and
think
not
so.
like, because I was like, okay,
Yeah. That's what I got out of it.
okay, that just does not like sit well with my brain, just based on like all the other books that we've
Right?
read. So I'm
It's
like,
different.
so it's like through the whole thing, I'm like, what is she talking about? Like, come
Yeah.
on, Serena. Anyway,
It's different. It's different. And we kind of see that throughout this whole entire book with Cohen basically tells her multiple times, "Oh, you would know if I was your mate. Like there would be a difference. You would know."
so I guess but that's another thing is, oh, we can get into this later, but like he says that, oh, you would know, but then like the whole book, like him and all his friends spends being like, yo, well, you wouldn't understand because you're not aware. I mean, like she's half aware, but she's not like grown up with them and known their customs.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, okay, well, is she gonna understand, or is she not? Should she know, or is she not gonna know? Like,
Yeah.
just explain it to her.
Yeah. Like
come on.
no one's taking in the fact that she's half aware. So
Yeah.
some explanation, and maybe not everything's the same for her. So
Right.
anyway, so we're not quite sure in the beginning if she's his mate back, but of course we know, because of course that would just be heartbreaking. So she's got to be his mate, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so Cohen goes down the trope of like pushing her away, and he does that for like the majority of the book, which I don't really like that trope, but that's just because I love instant gratification and I want them to just love each other and be happy forever. As a reminder, Lo is the alpha of the Southwest Pack and Cohen is the alpha of the Northwest Pack. Serena has agreed to announce to the world that the humans and Wares were able to procreate all in the name of sparking unity between the two species, but also to keep people's eyes off our little girl Anna. She's doing this in like a big kind of like press conference kind of way, like front of the news and all this other kind of things, and it's like this big deal, and like scientists are kind of looking at her, and because she's like a new thing, no one's ever heard of a were being able to procreate with another species, so she's new, and everyone's kind of like, oh, what's happening? Anyway, so like I said, scientists are kind of looking at her. So Serena allows for her DNA to be studied, and she learns in an interview that she will be infertile and will not be able to have children. This is the first time she's hearing about it. To me, this is god awful. Like the lack of respect that it takes for this interviewer to just like spill that out to everyone and she not even know about it is crazy. What do you think about that?
Oh yeah, obviously, yeah, that's terrible. I mean, and I was glad that Cohen brought it up afterwards. So
Yeah, at the end of the interview, he was like, "Did you know?" She's like, "Nah," which
yeah,
is obviously going to influence him because I'm sure he's thought about, kids with his mate. Probably like a dream he's had. But okay, so it's no one's business, but everyone knows her business now. And due to their lack of respect and compassion and I don't know, just being a good human being. In the words of Cohen, they are a bunch of fuck waffles. I really like that.
yeah, I like when he said that too.
Okay, so
I like when he says black waffles.
I know. A bounty goes out on Serena's head, and we learn that she has been living in a cabin in the woods by herself for a little while, per her request. She just decides she wants to go out in the woods and be by herself and, like, live her life. No one really understands why, and she's asked Cohen to kind of, like, take her out to do this. Cohen ends up saving her because of the bounty hunters coming to get her. He finds out that they're on their way, and as she's being attacked by one of them, he shows up and kills them. And he obviously is like, yeah, I'm done with this shit. You need to be somewhere safe. I'm not letting you be by yourself for the rest of time in these woods when you can't even take care of yourself. So he takes her back to his territory. And he kind of always also wonders, like, I don't understand exactly why you can't take care of yourself, because you could have just switched into your were mode. I know you've done it before, and I know you've killed in your were mode. And he's kind of like wondering, why isn't she doing that? We don't really know yet. We're learned that since the end of the Bride, Serena has been experiencing some weird symptoms. So she's had fever, unable to keep food down, headaches. And it all started since she met Cohen when he brought Anna back to Low. And that cannot be a related quickie dink, surely.
I
What
know,
did you
like
think?
it happened the day after they brought Anna home, which just happens to be the day I met you. Whoa.
Yeah, as
Well,
soon as
actually,
she
but I
like
guess
told us, oh yeah, it's been since I got back and I met you, and I was like, okay, instant, that's exactly the problem.
well, I don't well, because I don't remember when I was reading it. I did think like something weird was going on with her. Like, anyway, I'm not sure that it like automatically triggered me to be like, this is her heat or
I
whatever.
don't think it
Spoiler
did.
alert.
I didn't think it did because I remember you messaging me,
But it was weird.
and you said you didn't catch it then. I didn't really think of it as a heat. I was just like, well, it's because you're not with your mate. That's the problem. But I didn't think about it as a heat thing.
Yeah.
When did you
I
get
also
it?
like when Misery. I knew it's like, okay, so I think really when I started to think it was something to do with like them being for each other was when he said that, like that little excerpt where he says he comes home and smells something, but it can't be, like, remember that?
Yeah.
So anyway, but I like when Misery texts him when he is taking Serena to his territory and she's like threatening him over text. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
She's like, if anything happens to her. And then I really liked when they're like it's like on the drive up to his territory, I think, and they're giving each other a hard time. And then it's like before we know what exactly is wrong with her, and she says, or it's before we know what she has been told is wrong with her. She says, for a while, I don't think about how little time I have left to live. And I thought that was really good writing because you're like, wait, what? That's the first we're hearing that she's dying.
What do you mean? You're dying? Yeah.
So I liked how she wrote that, but yeah.
So alarms are going off, suspicions are happening, and again, like you said, they're riding up to his territory, and he's driving her in his car. Serena hasn't told anyone that she's been sick, and at least she did go see a physician to get checked out. So she was at least responsible in that way. But she was ultimately misdiagnosed, which happens all the time, unfortunately, in healthcare.
Cortisol stress disorder is what, she was told she had and thought she had like 6 months to live. And so instead of telling everybody, she is like, I'm just, I don't want to burden them with that. Misery needs to focus on Lo and Anna. Like, and then, she doesn't think she doesn't think that Cohen cares about her because he basically told her he didn't. Like it's only physical. Like, I don't care about you that way. So why would she tell him? So she's just like, okay, well, I'm just going to keep this to myself.
And it's so heartbreaking because, like, I always think it's so sad when they're like, oh, well, talking about Misery. She's got this new life. She's got, like, this new family, and I don't want to be messed up. I don't want to mess that up for her. I hate that.
Yeah, and there's no cure for CSD. It's something that werewolves go through. And then so the doctor tells her that because she's only half were, that must be why like her symptoms are progressing so much faster than most people's or most wares when they get this. So
and they had tried different things as well to try to like reverse.
They tried all the treatments
and
available.
treat it, and nothing was working, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse.
So yes.
Okay, so this kind of happened. So she went off to the cabin to die without burning anyone. Cohen takes her to his den, aka his territory, which is in the northwest Olympia area. We've already said this. Serena gets settled into his home and meets tons of Cohen's seconds.
Okay, I am going to interject here because I like a few things that happen when she meets his seconds.
Yes.
First of all, when she meets Brenna, I think he's being a stupid asshole and saying all those mean things and pretending he doesn't love her. It's irritating me. Okay, and I know I complained about Lo last time. So he's also letting Brenna be a jerk to her. And I'm just like, okay, my problem is
like that.
I
During,
want
like, the
respect.
fight?
Yeah. I want respect from men. And I want my FMCs to have it from their men too. So, that's all I'm asking for here. I don't think it's too much.
No,
Just
it's not.
Don't be an asshole. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. I didn't get it. I don't understand why he was okay with that.
I think he just thought he could not care, and that was part of him proving to himself he didn't care, maybe. But anyway, so.
Okay, so she meets a bunch of Cohen seconds. And I love the whole trope of they're just trying to piss Cohen off all the time and tease him in
The
his house.
seconds?
Yeah. In his house and stuff, they just like show up to his house and he's just like, what the fuck are you doing here? Anyway,
He's so crotchety. I love
he
it.
is crouchy. I like that. Okay, so Serena wants to continue to hide her condition, but even as she proves that she does have some moves, as she fights Brianna, like you were talking about, she is unable to win in a self-defense scenario and now has to be babysitted. So she is not going to be allowed to be by herself. Cohen is going to be staying with her in his own cabin. Okay, we learned some things about Cohen at this point. He is still a bit of a dick, but the banter, I love their banter between the two of them. It's great. He can play the piano and makes his own furniture, while Serena is over here impressing everyone with her cooking skills. And I love how she just decides to feed his seconds in this pack that shows up to the house.
Yes. So that's one of the things I wrote down was I love her cooking for the seconds and how that becomes a whole thing. And he's like, you don't have to cook for these buck waffles. I'm pretty sure he calls them. So he likes that word. And I don't know if it's the first time she cooks for him. I don't think so. I think it's like the second. And she said, like, they pulled out all the ingredients for her. And she says, at what point did you think ketchup was involved? And it's like cracking up.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know.
I like how, so Cohen doesn't eat any of the food until like way later. He doesn't eat any of it. But then once he does, he's like, damn, this is some good shit.
Yeah.
I should have been eating this the whole time.
One of the things that I really liked was when he's like she needs clothes, so they go to get clothes together, and like she picks up all the stuff and smells it, and then when she gets back, he's like bought everything that she that she picked up and put back down, and like everything she touched, he just got it for her, and I was just like, now I'm swooning.
That's cute.
Yeah, even though he's so crotchety, but he still bought all that stuff for her, and I was just like, and then another time, one of the little like thoughts of his at the beginning of the chapter said, her laughter adjusts the spin of his atoms. And I thought that was so cute and so Allie because it's STEM. Like, I don't know, like people know this about Allie Hazelwood, but she used to be like a neuroscientist, I'm pretty sure. And so a lot of her FMCs are like women in STEM. And then there's always some kind of like science thing happening in her book. And a lot of times the words she uses, I'm like, I gotta look that one up. Like if I don't know, I'm trying to think
I don't have an
example from Bride or Mate. Yeah, I don't have an example from Bride or Mate, but I, like some of the other ones, I'm like, wait, what is that word, Allie? Anyway, so she always teaches me something.
Well, there is like a whole like science thing going on in the background here, not only with with like her disease going on and all that, but also like, you know, as they're trying to figure out how they were able to breed between two species and stuff. It's pretty cool. Yeah. There's multiple times later on when we learn about the stupid cult where Serena's just like, that's not how it works. Anyway. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
the whatever her name is.
Okay, so we've learned a little bit about the small stuff of what they're good at, a little bit about their personalities. But then we learn a little bit of kind of like the background of like Cohen and why he's pushing her away. So one of the things with the Northwest Pack is that it continues to hold a tradition that its alpha must take a vow of celibacy called the Covenant, which puts a truckload's worth of cock blocking into our main relationship here. They continued this tradition because our 20 years of history in the back, there was a massacre that happened within the pack. A shitty wannabe alpha named Constantine led a cult that promised humans who followed him that he could turn them into were. Again, science, not how it works. Wanting power, Constantine led an organized attack, which led a group of humans taking out the elders and leaders of the Northwest Pack. Due to the previous alpha and her mate being Cohen's parents, and them being manipulated by Constantine, the group succeeded in dealing a hefty blow to the were. Cohen was 15 at the time, and after all these people died, he had to take up the mantle by organizing and reuniting their remaining were and taking back power. Take back the power! And killing Constantine, hence becoming alpha. Okay, so it appears that this cult is still hanging around. That's why we're getting a necklace randomly. It's weird. Okay. Hanging around and seems to think that Serena is connected to them. Serena is worsening with her fevers, and Cohen knows that she is still hiding things from him, which, fair. It comes to be
Okay, wait.
yeah,
I have to interject again
please
just
do.
because there's two things. Hold on, I'm sorry. That I wanted to that I had before he finds out about, or before he finds her in the bathroom. So one was, I kind of already mentioned that like he comes home and like smells something. He's like, but no, it couldn't be. So I'm assuming that that was like that she's in heat, I guess. So I don't know exactly what he smelled though. I get like that she was in heat, right? Or whatever. I guess it's the scent that a werewoman gives off when she's getting close to heat, because they did mention that their scent would change and become more appealing to wares of the opposite sex, right?
Yeah, I'm like
So I
picturing
guess
just
that's what
like
he was smelling.
I'm like picturing like a soundtrack going in the background of like sexy music, and he's just like, "What? She smells so good."
Okay,
That's what I picture. I don't know why.
sure. Anyways, I also really liked when she's wearing his clothes, she's nesting, she's doing the whole thing. And she has she sees that she like draped that flannel of his that she like sweated through on the chair. She forgot to like wash it. And then he comes in and she's like hiding it or whatever. And he's like telling her that she can't run. I kind of like that. That's for all the stalker girlies out there who like their dark romance. And he's like, you can't run, Serena. Like you need to walk slowly and put it in the wash and then come back. So I liked that too. Okay, continue.
Okay, so she's getting worse. Even though she's near her mate, she's getting worse. She's still having fevers. She's not holding food down. It's a problem. It comes to a breaking point where Cohen walks into a bathroom when Serena's having one of these severe fevers and finds her totally flipping out. He fixes the problem basically by punching a mirror because she's fixated on her eyes. Which
Her
kind of
eyes are
cracked
like
me up.
bleeding and dilating and
Yeah.
yeah.
And he's just like,
Stop looking at him.
yeah.
And she won't. So he's just like, there, now I can't. Very Cohen of him.
It's very Cohen.
And then he puts her in a bathtub and sits in there with him.
Yes, and I love that part. He's very concerned with her, and he puts her in the bathtub to cool her down. And then she kind of like passes out, and he's just like, what the fuck? She wakes up, and he confronts her about her condition.
Cohen's like pissed because she didn't tell him.
Yes, he didn't know all this was happening. And he's like, this is a problem. I don't like this, and I'm taking you to see my physician down the road. So he does. And she doesn't have a whole lot of agency over her care, which I didn't really like there. It seemed like the physicians were more concerned about making Cohen happy than actually giving her answers. I didn't particularly like that.
No, none of us should. It should have been totally told to Serena and not Cohen to not be talking to you. If a doctor is talking to your husband or significant other, male, or any significant other for that matter, but especially male, because men, anyway, then you need to get a new doctor. They need to talk directly to you because you are the patient. That's my point here. Okay, anyways.
Yes. Okay.
I love men.
So, of course, the physician, again, is a man. Sorry, Garrett, and you're just gonna get it.
Okay, but poor Garrett. He's already been exposed to nodding last episode, so that was fun. And now he just gets to hear us complain about men. But anyway, I did like about the cute old doctor. He does seem very cute, and he has a nice little family that all loves him, and they're all doctors, and they're cute. I liked when Allie wrote, when he smiles, his face splinters into a million fine, leathery lines. And I really liked that visual of like an older person's smile. So
it's cute.
Yes. I also randomly, I don't know, I think because they're talking about like when she, like what the earliest thing she remembers maybe, and she says that it was her being found in Paris. So here I also put this note that I noticed her name is Serena Paris. So I felt like Allie named her Serena Paris because it's actually not her name, obviously, or that we find out later. It's just like the name they gave her, and that they just gave her the name Paris because that's where she was found.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was interesting. Like it doesn't come up at all in the story. It's not like it feels like part of the world building that it didn't need to be included in the story. And I just thought that was kind of a cool little tidbit.
That is a cool tidbit. I got a little confused why she was in Paris at the end. Like how she got
we
there,
don't know because they don't.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
Moving on. Okay, so she sees
We're at the doctor.
yeah, she sees the cute little old man physician, and he agrees with what was previously been told to her on the condition that she has, and that basically she's dying. Okay, they go home, and Cohen's like, "You better figure this out. Fix this problem. Save my mate."
I know. I loved when that like whole scene about him finding out about Serena's supposed illness, and I thought it was really heartbreakingly beautiful. He's just like, no, like you're not dying, not on my watch. Figure out how to fix it to to the doctors. Figure out how to fix it. Like that's your job. Like hard stop. There's no other option. So I thought that was so cute. And like I wouldn't have this is gonna sound bad, but I wouldn't have minded if that was the plot. Like her going through this like illness and then him supporting her.
Yeah.
I know it would not have led to our sex fest
Probably not.
fix. And so like I get that is not what this book is, but I just think that would be a cute one too. I just really like that, like when someone's like so in love with the other person in the story that they have to like take care of them or whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, I like that too. Pretty great.
He's cute. Annoying but cute. Okay.
Okay, so they go back to the house and more conversation is had. And I think Cohen at this point is like, there's something else going on because she's still kind of smelling really good, kind of sus.
Well,
and then he gets a phone call. He's like, "Yeah, I'll be there. I knew you would be calling." And it turns out
it's because
go ahead.
He okay, so first of all, little interjection about little Cohen love. Another one of the like little excerpts when he said he had resigned himself to living a lifetime without her, but simply put, he is unwilling to live in a universe where she doesn't exist. I just thought that was really cute too. Yes, these are some of my favorite quotes, and I am putting them in this so that I can say more later on.
That's cool.
Anyway, so he's like, okay, where do you want to sleep? Your bed or mine? And she's like, my bed. And he's like, okay, we'll sleep in your bed. And she's like, we? And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna sleep with you so that I can monitor you, and when you start to have a fever, we're gonna catch it early. Which smart, because you should do that with a fever, and then get her in the bath or whatever. That was his whole plan. So he is like staying up with her. She's asleep, and he's just like sitting there monitoring her. So I think like as soon as her like temperature starts to go up, I guess he can like sense it with his wear stuff. He like wakes her up. He's like, come on, let's go get in the bath. But then like she's like, him holding her, she's like, oh no, I don't need to be put in the bath. What I need you to touch me more, basically. So yeah. So then it's like this whole thing where she needs his touch, and that's the only thing that's like making her feel good. And then he's like, okay. And then that's when he gets that phone call, because they have a little time where he, because he said he had took the celibacy pact, then he technically can't do anything with her. But she's his mate. So like for that time, he has her touch herself and like helps by like licking her gland or whatever to get her to come that time. Anyway, so yes, so now they get the phone call to go back to talk to the doctor.
Okay, so they go back and see the war physician, which the little old man was like, I was wrong. And was it his daughter or his wife?
Oh, it's his. Oh, I think it's his daughter, Layla. She seems young. Yeah.
Okay, so the little old physician's daughter has been told of Serena's condition, her symptoms, and she's like, these men, they know nothing. You're in heat, girl. That's your problem. You need to have sex.
Because she looked at her estrase levels.
Yes.
So, so that's one of the estrogen levels. It's a girl thing. So she was like, this is a woman. Let me also take into consideration this woman hormone.
Yes.
Novel idea there.
Novel idea. Okay, so she's told that she's in heat. Due to the covenant and her not wanting anyone else to touch her, Serena decides to get a progesterone injection to stop the heat. Before that can happen, she is kidnapped, and that's kind of been its own drama in and of itself. They did some stuff, but kept with the covenant. And then the next morning, Cohen gets a phone call, and the doctor's like, hey, you need to come back here. I think we figured out some stuff. They go back, and the little man's like, I was wrong. I misdiagnosed her, like these other men. And it turns out his son's partner,
Layla.
Layla is also a physician. She's a midwife. And she was been told of Serena's condition, her symptoms, and decides, you know what, I'm going to actually look at this and bring in the, the female element of it. And turns out the girl in heat, she needs sex.
The girl in heat, she needs sex.
I prescribe you with sex to save your life.
Man, if only that would fix all of our problems.
Right?
Okay. So, first of all,
you don't like
so
how
she's
I
a
said
midwife.
that? I thought it was straight
No,
to the
I
point.
think it's great.
The best way to say it.
Anything we say medically in this podcast is not coming from our medical background.
Listen, that's exactly what I would have told my patient. Girl, you need some sex.
No, listen, Anna, I am trying to protect you, okay? Please, everyone. None of this is medical advice. Consult your physicians or your midwives.
Yes, I agree with everything she just said.
But the midwife decides she should also look at his estrase level, which is one of her estrogens, for those who don't know, and is like, oh, it's also high. So that's why she was like, oh, she's not dying. She's in heat. And I'm just like, that surely that guy, like, so basically, I mean, okay, so I have to assume the estrase level was on the other blood panel, but maybe not. It is possible he didn't even think to check a woman's estrase. Don't get me started. Okay, so if he did not check it, that is still bad, but at least he didn't have the results in front of him. But if it was included in this like hormone panel that they ran, it should have been, because she is a woman and it is a woman hormone. If it was in front of him that it was abnormal, like if he had a little results, cortisol, blah blah blah. I just like, I don't know. Come on. Okay, anyways. Yeah. Especially if he found out exactly when it happened. It happens. People do get misdiagnosed. Sometimes we have to be our own advocates. Moving on.
Do not take medical advice from me.
Or this podcast.
Consult with your physician. Don't tell your patient
that's for legal purposes.
Fixing you with prescribing you with sex.
For legal purposes, we are saying this. Okay, let's go on. She needs sex.
You need sex. Okay, where was I?
Is where we need to start.
Okay, yes. So, due to the covenant, Cohen is not allowed to sex her, and her not wanting anyone else to touch her because Cohen is her mate, and she's his mate, but she doesn't know that yet. Serena decides to get a progesterone injection to possibly stop the heat. So they have that scheduled. They're going to be getting that done, but before it can happen, our girl is kidnapped by one of the cult members, and she's taken to a cult safe house. Damn. She meets her aunt, who is now the leader of the cult, and Serena learns that she is actually the child of a human and Constantine. Yes, Ashley.
Yes, Ashley. I have a question. No, not really. I have a comment. Anyways, so before she walks into Layla's office where they had like drugged her or whatever, she's like, has this instinct like, oh, this doesn't seem good. And I'm just like, I wish I had these instincts that all these FMCs in our book have, because I don't think I do. And so I would have just been like, do. I mean, it didn't work out because she didn't actually get to text Cohen like she was trying to, because they stopped her. But I'm just like, I'm not sure I would have had this premonition. Like, I shouldn't go in the door. Anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that she did. Good for her.
Yes, good for her. It saved her. Not at all. She still got kidnapped. But she knew something was up. Okay, so...
Okay.
She is the child of a human and Constantine, which kind of sucks, because Constantine killed her mate's parents.
Okay.
And...
You're gonna have to back up.
Mass murder.
Because...
People.
Stop talking. Constantine is a werewolf. Now go on. Say it with him being a werewolf.
What do you mean? What did I say wrong?
Constantine is the were. You said he was a human.
No, she is a child of a human and Constantine.
Oh. I thought you said a human named Constantine.
I'll just go back. I'll go back. It's fine.
Sorry,
Garrett. Okay, so Serena learns she is the child of Constantine, the werewolf cult leader, wannabe alpha that mass murdered this group of werewolves, and one of the cult members who was a human and was obsessed with Constantine. So her father was Constantine.
Yes.
Which sucks.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
So because her father was Constantine, the people of this cult think that she's almost like a godlike figure, that they're going to use her to lure Cohen to them and then kill Cohen. And she's just going to be falling in love with the cult and be part of the cult because she was Constantine's kid. That's the plan anyway. What's up? You looking up something else I said wrong?
No, nothing else you said wrong. I'm just looking up my next comment to see where I need it.
We're hilarious.
No, we're not. But anyway, I did figure out why
We
I
are.
dropped it, and it's not yet.
Okay.
We're hilarious?
Yeah.
You think we're so hilarious?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just move on.
Okay. The cult calls Serena Eva. Apparently that was what her birth name was. We see that they have been gathering highly destructive weapons to use against the war. And she tries to talk sense into a young, brainwashed follower woman. Doesn't really help. She's still brainwashed. And she's being manipulated by her aunt. Her aunt's trying to tell her, oh, I have a letter for you from your mom. And if you want to hear it, you need to stay and listen to me and all these things. Cohen shows up with his hands tied, and a heart-to-heart happens where Cohen admits that yes, he probably did kill Serena's mother when he took over Constantine's role. And he might have been the one that found Serena when she was a child. So Serena's aunt, Irene is her name, bitch face, tries to manipulate her into killing Cohen herself. But of course, she cuts Cohen free and the pack attacks the safe house and Irene gets away. Serena is taken back to Cohen's home and learns that the assembly agrees to allow Cohen to help her through her heat. Yeah.
So
shaking your head. What do you want to say?
Actually, it is not the assembly doesn't know. The seconds and they're all gonna the seconds and everyone are gonna look the other way while he helps her.
Okay. So the
It's on the
seconds are
down low.
agreeing to keep the secret and they're just gonna be like, go do your thing. We won't tell anybody.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. My bad. Anyway, so the seconds are giving them a hall pass for a bit, and the 4-day sexcapade happens. It's nonstop filth for those two, and as they get at it, the nest that Serena's been making is just a beautiful thing that they both just kind of roll around in. I know you have comments about the sexcapade. What do you got? What you want to say about it?
Okay. One of the quotes that I have written down is this is chapter 34 when they have their little sex fest, and I liked when she is kind of talking about how she's self-conscious about her body because she's short, busty compared to Misery being tall and lean or whatever, and she says, it's nice, I guess, that you're not disappointed in the way I look. And he says, disappointed? And she says, yeah, I mean, it could have shaken out in a different. Why are you staring at me like I just told you that angel's wings are made out of porridge? Just don't know why, but I really liked that. They're funny. I like Misery and Serena's random things like that.
I do
angel's
too.
wings are made out of porridge.
So great.
It's just so funny. And then somewhere in here, she put a science joke. I do not remember what it is now, but I was just saying, I went on off on a little Allie comment, she loves her science jokes, which we already talked about. And it's somewhere in there where he's being dominating, and she's always writing the dominating men. And it drives me nuts, but I do see the appeal. For someone just tell you step by step exactly what you need to do would be nice sometimes instead of having to figure it out. So I also just wanted to say that yes, I have been giving her MMCs a little bit of the last 2 episodes, but she did write one of my top tier book boyfriends.
Mm-hmm.
So read Deep End if you haven't yet. And I've still got a lot of others to read, but so yeah. And
That man is a
one of the things I have to
green
say,
flag. So good.
yes, we will not say who because that would be a spoiler. But anyway, so one of the things I specifically did have to say about the actual sex part is him having such little experience because he's been celibate since he became alpha at 15. So all he has is teenage sex as to go off of, but he's so good at it. I'm it's just surprising that maybe he's just watched a lot of werewolf porn or something. It kind of reminded me of a different series that we're going to talk about in our next episode.
Tell me what you thought about the sex. The sex. Well, first off, let's start off with I thought it was adorable when she was showing him her nest that she made for the first time. He opens up the door and he's just gonna stop, and then she's like, I made this nest for us, and it's just a bunch of things of his scent, and it's got lights string about, and she's fixing a pillow.
Yeah, that is cute.
Just slightly off.
she's like nervous that he's not gonna like it, and that is when he has to pause, and like he's like, okay, I need a minute because it smells so much like her and our scent is so good. So he needs a minute to get like in the right frame of mind.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Control
You know what I mean?
himself.
He needs a minute to control himself. Yep.
Yeah. I have to say that after reading this book, it's made me second guess me calling, like I say every day, that I'm gonna make a nest in bed to get ready for bed. Like I just make myself comfortable, and I have to second guess myself. I was like, should I really be calling this that? Is this a nest for heat? But it's not. Nope.
Yeah.
I'm not in heat. Anyway, but I thought it was hilarious throughout this whole entire thing as well that they're having sex and all this other, like basically almost constantly, and he's like force feeding her like water and random fruits and stuff to keep her energy up. And she's like, I need a shower. And he's so offended. He's like, you're gonna wash away my scent. And when she does, he's just like, you wanted to wash this away and then immediately have sex with her again and makes her dirty again. It's great. It's funny.
Yeah, obviously, you know, a little weird boy is very like hung up on the scent thing, dogs and all that, you know.
How dare you call him a dog? Totally different
He's
species.
a dirty dog.
Okay, so anyway, this is where we see their first nodding, which Serena was almost warned about by Misery, but that didn't really
yeah, she
turn
cut her
out very
off.
much. She would have learned
like,
about
girl,
it.
you didn't
but,
listen. Yeah. She's like, I like after that happens for the first time, like the knot, and she's like, okay, I'm gonna need a wear anatomy lesson right now. Right
and
now.
he's like, oh shit.
Like
You
she said,
knew.
Layla didn't tell you? Yeah. No. And then she's like, I think Misery was going to tell me, but I just thought it was her being crazy like she always is. And he was like, yeah, I can understand that. So anyway, but yeah, it was funny. Like, you should have listened to your friend, but yeah, she is crazy sometimes. So what can you do?
Yes. So yeah, but we're exposed to his knot. Near the end of the final like sex haze session, she tells him that she loves him, which is fresh.
Yeah, and I think it's gonna be like the last time too, like because her
Yes.
heat is over,
Yes.
and so she's like really sad that it's coming to an end.
And he's got to go back to not
And
having
they
sex with her
basically,
anymore, and they
yeah,
can't be
and somewhere in
together.
there, she's like, let's just try not to see each other for the next few decades, and I'm just like, okay,
That's abrupt.
like,
Okay.
don't do that.
I know, right? Okay, so the next day,
I think that they are giving up way too easily on their relationship, personally.
Well, so Serena's like, oh, I'm not, you love being an alpha. You're so good at it. This brings you joy. This brings you purpose in life. I can't be the reason why you are no longer an alpha, why you have to give up your title so you can be with me because of the covenant and the rules.
Right, because your next sentence is, the next day Cohen tells her that he is going to step down as alpha.
Yes.
Yeah, and so it leads to the whole, like, I'd hate myself if I took you away from what you love talk. Yes. And so then that's why she's saying that, right?
Yes. And then when she's saying all this, this is when he tells her that he found a goodbye letter that she wrote him when she thought she was dying, which basically admitted that she does believe that she is his mate as well. So not only do they love each other, but they're both each other's mates. And that changes the whole game for him. Yeah.
It still blows my mind that he didn't think that she was, even though like at the end in the epilogue, he's like, oh, you figured it out. And she's like, oh, you already knew? They're talking about her being his mate or him being her mate. But anyway, but I was going to say like, okay, so I give the MMCs a hard time for making decisions for their girls. And here we have Serena trying to do the exact same thing. She's trying to be admirable, but it's honestly just as annoying to me as when Cohen was being controlling. So if she had just like let him do this, then I think that the council would have given in earlier. Like and then her saying that she made it up that she was his mate. I just said, F you, Serena. Don't lie to him. So I am an equal opportunity grudge holder. And I just think that
morals are...
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'll pat myself on the back for that. And I just think they should give the council the ultimatum and be like, listen, I'm going to be with my mate. Like, I can either do that while I'm alpha or not. And you can find someone else. But, so that's what I think she should have done. But I do love how dedicated she is to his little pack. So,
to his little pack.
I really don't mean it. I love you, Serena.
Okay. So they're kind of hashing it out. They get interrupted to talk during their talk as the humans that they rescued from the cult and have been hanging out in the Weird territory with them. And Nell tells the group that she knows of a place to ambush Irene. Now, Nell is the girl that was brainwashed that Serena tried to talk some sense into. Just so you know, that's who that is. Okay, so she knows of a place to ambush Irene. So they set it up for Serena to be easily taken and then ambush Irene again. One hitch, they place a tracker in Serena's arm, but the kidnappers took it and left her behind. So they literally just like cut her open, took the tracker out and left her. And so the pack wasn't even aware that Serena wasn't with them at the time when they ambushed. So Serena's like, oh God, okay, I have to like catch up with them. So she tracks them and ends up getting where she needs to go. And in the middle, she shows up in the middle of the ambush. There's a big fight happening and she has to shift. Sorry. There's a big fight happening. When she gets there, she finds that Cohen is distracted to save one of the humans and almost gets shot by Irene. She has transformed and she jumps in front of the bullet that was meant for Cohen. And of course, Cohen, out of anger, unalives Irene.
Yes, I really liked when Serena's telling her this and she says, well, Cohen was really mad, so you have been de-anted, I fear. Just like what she said, de-anted. But yeah, so that was when she shifted, and that was the first time Cohen saw her in her wolf form, and he thought she was so pretty.
Cute.
I just love my little wolf.
Yes.
Not dogs, as Anna said earlier, but I love my little wolfies.
Yeah.
They're so cute.
But speaking of dog, I really like their pet half wolf, half dog.
Twinkles?
Something like
I think
that.
his name's Twinkles.
He's so cute.
Because they have Sparkles, and now they have Twinkles.
Yes. Okay, so
they get him a little, like, collar with a name tag.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Anyway.
And I love how, like, at the end, he's sitting on the porch, and the dog's, like, laying there, and he's just like, I've been watching him to see if he just resents me for domesticating him, basically. And he says, he seems okay with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know what? It aligns with what's happening with him.
That is true. Whoa. Okay.
Okay, so Serena wakes up a few days later, and Misery is sitting at her bedside, and she is pissed at all the secrets that Serena has been keeping. Totally understandable, because that's just a shitty thing to do as a friend, if not telling them that you're dying. So a heart-to-heart is had again, and they do their thing where they forgive each other by cutting each other's toenails. Things kind of get back to normal, and the assembly agrees that Cohen can be a great alpha and be mated and with his mate, so our couple gets to stay together. Yay. Cohen and Serena finally complete the mating ritual by biting each other, and it's such a pride thing. It's so funny because they're just like, I hope I scar her really good. So people are just like, I wonder how she got that scar.
Yeah, I really like that whole epilogue. Like, I was trying to decide if I liked Cohen or Lo better, because I like Cohen's looks better, like the whole lumberjack vibe or sexual vibe he's got going, but like personality wise, because Cohen is a little bit of a dick, and that's not usually something I love in our MMCs. But first of all, I will say that if you're ever feeling that way about a book, you should listen to the audio, because every time I like read a book and I'm like, I don't know about this guy, and then I listen to the audio, I'm like, okay, see the appeal. So I'm just throwing that out there for some people. But also the epilogue really solidified for me that like I like Cohen the best, because it was just so cute. Like, both of them are cute about their girls or whatever, but it was just like this whole like epilogue chapter about how much he like loved her and was so happy to just be doing like the small little things in life with her. And he's like didn't ask her to bite. He really wants her to bite him. He's not going to ask her though, because he's trying to be like kind and considerate about the fact that she's been through all this stuff. And then like he's saying, I was trying not to be imposing, and she's like, you're the most imposing mate ever. And he's like, I could be way fucking worse. So I just thought that was funny, because I'm like, yeah, he probably could, honestly, when I think about it.
I loved how Lo was like giving him shit about it.
Yeah,
I loved that part.
That was good too. I like their relationship.
Yeah.
They're cute little friends. But yeah, so cute. Loved it. That's it, right? We got more? Anything else we didn't talk about? You need to talk about?
I have, let's see, any other scenes that I want to talk about? Nope. think I covered it.
Okay, I was reading your quotes and I was laughing at the last one. Okay, so next is Serial's Tea Time, where we cover our favorite characters, quotes, themes, scenes, etc. Okay, so my favorite character, we'll start there because that's easy for me, is Serena. In Bride it was Misery. I really love Misery and Serena. I like their humor. I could stand for Serena to be a little bit less like self-sacrificing, but that's probably only because I think it's very noble, but I just hate it for her that she like this whole like her whole life has been like she's kind of on the back burner because she was just like the orphan that was that was like supposed to keep the collateral who was Misery company. And like I don't know, I can at least like when I was younger have a tendency to be more like self-sacrificing and put like my needs on the back burner. And so like I probably just that's probably why. But I really love Serena. She's still my favorite character in the book. Yeah, basically that is the gist of it. Yeah, she's my favorite character. Your turn.
Okay.
Who's your favorite character?
Serena, of course. Like you said, I love her sense of humor. Her and Misery are hilarious. I just want a book of them giving each other shit. Like, I'd be okay with that. I love the guys. The guys are great.
That would actually be good. I think that we need that. We need Ellie Hazelwood to just, the third book just needs to be Misery and Serena go on some kind of like quest together. And like the guys can be there for like, it's like to have that part in it. But like the main thing is just Misery and Serena have to figure out something together. We need that.
Yeah.
That book.
Yeah. I need that. I love it. I love them. They're so great. I also love how when he first meets Serena, she forgets to plug in an electronic. And then at the end of the book, she breaks her toaster because she forgets to plug it in. And that seems very me. If you haven't caught it yet, I'm not good at technology.
I do think I usually remember to plug stuff in. I don't know. So, yeah, but that was funny. I liked that too. Okay, so now my favorite quotes. I have them all here highlighted.
I have 4.
More than that, but okay, so my first one is in chapter 17. This is like her talking to the little assembly people that came to like confront them about she's like his mate and living with him or whatever. And she says, "What I'm trying to say is he told me that nothing would happen between us on the day we first met, and I'm not about to try to disintegrate his free will with my magic cunt, okay?"
Yeah.
I just really like that. So the next one's in chapter 27, and it is...
You look so confused.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Okay, so it's in chapter 27. It's after, like, she feels like she forced him to help her through that first, like, little heat moment when he, like, had her do stuff or whatever. And he says, "It's more complicated and nuanced than any theoretical scenario you thought through as a human. So give yourself some grace." The corner of his mouth twitches. "Maybe it'll give me permission to grab some for myself too." I liked that part because of the grace thing, like to give him permission to grab for some for himself too.
Yeah.
And then further, just a few pages later, he says, Serena is saying this. She says, "I like you more than anyone I've met since Misery. And when I'm with you, I feel a little less like half of two things and a little more whole. And when you touch me, it feels right. So right that I forget it's wrong. I forget that you're the heart of this pack. I forget that thousands of people rely on you, and that every moment I spend with you, I'm taking something away from them." And it's like one of her little moments where she is thinking of others. But I just really like how she explained that he made her feel less like two halves of things than he made her feel more whole. So that was... I also really liked in chapter 39 where they're talking about the assemblies. So this is like the last chapter. They're talking about the assembly's decision that they can be together. And he's saying that they don't think that her presence influences his ability to do his job. And then he says, "But I think you're wrong." Or, "I think they're wrong." And she says, "Wrong?" And he nods. "I think it does affect me. I think you make me a better leader. You make my world better for sure. And mate or not, I wouldn't love you half as much if you weren't the kind of person who deserves it." So that was cute too. And then I really... This, like, I'm like just quoting a lot, sorry. But then like the very last thing before the epilogue, he tightens his hold on her and says, "Such a fucking nuisance." And then she says, "I wonder why it took me until this very moment to realize that it's been his way of saying I love you all along." So that was good. Okay, and then I'm not done yet. So
You always choose the
epilogue.
sweet ones. I'm always choosing like
I know
the funny ones to me.
you do choose the funny ones, and I am just a huge romantic, and so yeah, that's why they're all like these really sweet ones.
I
Okay,
love it.
so then in the epilogue, he says it was like he's like going through his little thoughts. As to him, it feels like an adventure. Them, waking up every morning wondering if he'll survive the intensity of his feelings for her. Seems unlikely, and yet he always makes it to the night. And that was when he was describing like all the little moments that they have together, and I like that. And then he says he would die for her and he would kill for her, but more importantly, he will live for her. She'll be the purpose driving every second of his everyday. I thought that was cute.
That's
Okay,
cute.
now I'm done.
Okay. I
So cute.
have 4 quotes, and only one of them is sweet. All the other ones are just her humor, and I love it. Okay, so the sweet one is this is him describing her basically. He says, if someone had given me a piece of paper and asked me to list everything I liked, everything I dreamed of, everything that was sure would make me happy, you would have been the final product of it. I like that. So cute.
That is really sweet.
Okay. And then 3 unhinged ones. All right. So this is Cohen basically arguing with one of his seconds. Okay. So this is Cohen basically talking about her and doing the bite mark, the mate marking bite thing. Okay. He says, she was fucking human until 3 hours ago. The decent thing to do is let her get used to being aware before I mangle her with my meat minching jaws and leave a scar for my own personal pleasure.
That's funny.
Okay. And then I just realized that the 2 funny ones are from Cohen and there's only 1 funny one from her.
That's okay.
Just realized that.
He's funny too.
Okay, so this is when Serena is really embarrassed over something and she says, I let myself fall back up on the mattress. Maybe I could grab a fork from the kitchen, fall upon it, and encounter swift and merciful death. And then she goes on and says, probably better to just make out with a piranha and hope he'll eat me. Where does she come up with this shit? I love it. Okay. And then I told you earlier, I loved Cohen and his relationship with the half dog, half wolf that they got going on. And the wolf is sitting there and gets distracted by a squirrel and goes running off chasing the squirrel. And Serena is talking to him about it. And he says, the squirrels have it coming. Smug little shits. That's what I feel like every dog thinks of in their head.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's like that whole like
maybe
thing
Pancake
from
says
Up
that too.
with Doug. Squirrel. You know, like the whole thing. Okay. Anyway, now we're going to tell you our spice ratings and what we thought about the book.
Yes.
So I liked it a lot. We probably wouldn't be talking about it if I didn't. So I liked it more than Bride. And spice wise, I put like a 3 to 3.5. I think I would probably go more than 3.5 out of 5. But I was like somewhere in there. 3 to 3.5 out of 5 chili peppers or spice is what I was thinking. What about you? What'd you think?
I loved it. That was great. I liked it more than Bride. But I liked Bride as well. I liked them both. Spice, I would agree with you. I would probably say it was a 3.5, and then the spice chili peppers out of 5, just because of the whole sexapade. Besides the sexapade, there isn't really any other random sex going on. So that's where I would put the spice right there.
So that's why I was like, maybe it's just a 3 because it's really just one huge instance. But then I was like, well, I don't know. So anyway, that's why it's kind of like somewhere in that area. Yeah.
Okay.
So
it's great. Okay, so on to our war games. This is where we fight to the death by finding out who is the most observant of the 2. Today's game is 20 questions, but we might do 10 questions because 20 seems like it might be a lot.
Hopefully we'll be able to guess within 10.
Yeah. We each will pick a person, place, or thing that is mentioned in either Bride or Mate, or both. And we'll have to guess what the other person chose by asking up to 20 questions. Yes or no questions only. The person that gets the other person's chosen thing with the least amount of questions wins, and the other person will be should you be mauled by a wolf? I feel like you should be mauled by a were.
Yeah, that's it. That's what's gonna happen.
I say you because you're gonna lose. You're going down.
That's really great trash talk.
Thank you.
Anyways, who's going
I need to
first?
work on that. You can go first.
Oh, like to ask you or to you to ask me?
Yes, you ask me questions.
Okay. Is it a person?
Yes.
Is it a werewolf?
Yes.
Okay. Is it a girl?
Yes.
Is it an adult?
No.
So is it Anna?
Yes.
Nice.
Okay, you got it in 5. Whatever. Okay, so the people that, before we started recording, Ashley and I texted my husband, Garrett, who edits these videos, saying that we were going to choose to make sure we don't choose the same thing. We chose the same thing twice. And by that point, I was just like, you
these
know
are our
what?
third choices.
You know what? Screw it. I'm just going to choose something easy. We chose the same thing?
We both picked the cat.
Yeah. So I chose Anna because Anna's great, and also she shares my name, so props to her. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, these are our third choices. So yeah, keep that in mind.
Okay.
Okay, your turn.
Oh yeah. Okay, so you got it in 5. Oh god. Okay, is it a person?
No.
Okay. Is it a place?
No.
Damn. Okay, so it's a thing. Okay, it's a thing. Did we learn about it only in Mate?
No.
Thing. Is it a bodily function?
Yes.
Is it nodding?
Yes, it is.
How many was that?
We both did 5. 5. So now what are we gonna do?
Oh, we need
Or wait,
a
when you were
tiebreaker.
counting, did you count my guess as the 5th?
Yeah.
Okay, so did I. Okay, so yeah, we're tied.
Damn it. We need a tiebreaker.
Okay.
You know what we could do? Because Garrett's not here for us to choose another thing. So
Yeah.
maybe we should do 20 questions for Primal. That would be huge. That's a big span of options.
You mean in our Primal of Blood and Bone episode? Like after we go through all of the recap and then oh my god. Okay, sure, let's do it.
Ha!
Ready. Yeah.
So stay tuned for the tiebreaker.
Yeah. Apparently we're just 2 in sync, I guess.
Okay, so our first one that we chose, we both chose Sparkles, the cat, Anna's
Yeah,
cat.
we wanted to do Sparkles.
Yeah. And then we both chose Alex, the tech nerd, and Bride.
Yeah.
And then I was trying to think of Twinkles.
The dog.
Yeah.
I almost picked Twinkles too. What if we had both picked Twinkles? Okay.
And the other one I almost picked was, I was trying to remember, I still can't remember what his name is because it's not a real name. It's Misery, and she calls one of the seconds that is Lowe's like pretty face or something like that. What's that guy's name? What does she call him?
No, that I don't remember.
Anyway, I was gonna go with him, and I was like, she would never guess that.
I never
but
would have
then
gotten that one.
But then I couldn't think
never.
of it.
You
And
would have
I
won
still-
for sure.
I still
Okay.
can't think of it.
Oh. Okay.
Are we both getting killed by a were, or we're both spared by the wares?
I think we're both getting killed by a were.
Death. Okay. All right. So our next episode will be covering, as you heard from Ashley, all of Flesh and Fire and Blood of Ash series by Jennifer Armentrout, all in preparation for our read-through of the newest release of that world called Primal of Blood and Bone. So you have a lot to read before you listen to our next episode, because 10 books, Ashley?
Okay, yeah, it's a lot of books, but so basically this is going to be for people who maybe like have already read. I mean, you are welcome to read all of those books.
You should read all of those books. It's a great series.
Yeah, people have mixed feelings about it, which we can get into next time. But yeah, so anyway, it's a lot of books. Read them all. Once you're done reading, you can listen to our next episode. We're excited about Primal of Blood and Bone. I don't know how we've waited this long. Again, we'll get into that next time.
Yes.
So
But
thank you so much for listening.
Yeah,
Oh,
go ahead.
What?
I was just going to say, because we're covering all of Flesh and Fire and Blood of Ash, it will be a very loose summary of both of those series. So it'll be a good little reminder for people that have already read it. So you don't have to go back and read the whole entire series again if you don't want to. But so it'll be very loose. It won't be like 10 hours long of review. Yeah.
I think that so far people have enjoyed our recap episode the most. So might have to start doing more recaps for people. Thank you so much for listening. We are a baby podcast, so it would be so helpful if you would rate and review us on your podcast listening platform. You can also follow us on social media, A Podcast of Fantasy and Romance on Instagram, and YouTube, and a pod of fantasy and romance on TikTok. It's been fantastical. We'll see you next time.
Bye.